Hello everyone, my name is Eulojio Sanchez and I'm a manufacturing engineer for TD Williamson. I graduated from Oklahoma State University in 2017 with my industrial engineering and management degree. I had some really amazing times in college, and I want all high schoolers to understand if you put your mind to something, you can achieve anything you want. I know that myself. I knew that I wanted to go to Oklahoma State University because of my cousins. My cousins graduated with their degrees, one as an architect and the other in finance. And thanks to their motivation and thanks to their inspiration, I was inspired and I went to Oklahoma State and I graduated with my engineering degree. I have here a list of questions that might interest you that I have. And we'll go ahead and start with number one. Who motivated you? I would say the biggest motivator, obviously my cousins, one of them, but one of the most motivational people in my life has been my father. My dad has been with me throughout everything. He's always been that person to always tell me what's right and wrong. He's always been pushing me to do better. He was the one that basically taught me how to play music, play keyboards, and thanks to that, I had the opportunity to make my own money playing in a gig band and actually starting one myself. And from there, saving enough to buy my own truck and to be able to save up for college at the same time. So, and then obviously making it to Oklahoma State University. What were your least favorite subjects in school? I would say my least favorite subjects in school were English and history. But believe it or not, history, I enjoy history so much right now. But back in high school and middle school, I would say to myself, why are we learning history? What's this gonna help? But sometimes history tends to repeat itself, and it's good to always understand what has happened so that way we don't make the same mistakes. So I've enjoyed being to go to museums and being able to see a lot of different historical artifacts, going to different, especially being in Europe, being able to see that history as well. So what was most surprising to you about your job? The most surprising that I never would have expected working for TD Williamson and just being an engineer was the opportunity to go to Europe. When I first interviewed with TD Williamson, I was brought up with the opportunity of becoming an ADP, which is Engineering Development Program, or be in that program. And what I didn't know was that I was going to be able to have a lot of different opportunities with the company. I was able to go to different teams within the company, here in Tulsa specifically too, and I got to do projects with them. And then later, I got sent to Europe, and I got to spend a month there in Belgium being able to work on a project, a design project. So that was amazing, being able to learn a little bit of un peu de français, a little bit of French, and being able to communicate and getting to see the food that they have over there. So that was very interesting. And never would I have thought that once I had graduated with my engineering degree, that I was going to have that opportunity right away. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. What unique contributions do you bring to your job? Well, one of the things is, I think the contribution that I bring is I'm a team player. I like to be able to help out people, help out my team also as well. And I think it's important also for yourself to understand that if you're a team player, it's always good to be able to be willing to help out however you can. And that's what a team is, just being able to help out for the end goal. And it's very important for you once you go into a real job to be like that. So, and me also, another thing is I am fluent in Spanish, and I've had maybe two circumstances that some of my coworkers have came to me and they've said, hey, can you actually translate this pamphlet for me so that way I can pass it on to some of our colleagues over there in Mexico, because TD Williamson does business in Mexico as well. So that has been really awesome to have. Why did you choose to study this? Well, that's a great question. Civil engineering was what I initially wanted to go into, but since my dad, he has his company, his construction company, I told myself, well, all throughout my life, I've been working with my dad, gotten to help him out. Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to continue this? So right before going to college, my senior year, I did research, vast amount of research, and I came to the conclusion, hey, I really want to go into something that I can talk to people, because I really enjoy talking to people, and just some people engineering. And I stumbled upon industrial engineering, which is also considered people engineering. And from there on out, I finished my full completed my degree in industrial engineering and management. So that has been great. What scholarships do you recommend students to look for? Well, what I would suggest is go ahead and start with local scholarships, because with local scholarships, you aren't competing with the whole country. As like if it was FastWeb, in FastWeb you're competing with everybody in the country, and it makes it a little bit more easier to just be able to compete with those locally. So that's what I would suggest, is start locally, and then from there go on to FastWeb and just apply to as many as you can, and talk to your counselor, talk to your teachers, so that way they can provide that input to help you out. Because I know that for myself, I'm a Coca-Cola scholar, and thanks to my counselor, thanks to my teachers, I was always going to them for corrections, just asking for suggestions. Hey, what can I do to improve this? And thanks to that, to this day, I thank them for having made me a Coca-Cola scholar. And also the work that I put in, because for that whole week, I still remember I wouldn't sleep hardly any, just looking over it, writing it, correcting it. So it's that whole hard work that you put in, what you receive, what the outcome of what you will receive. What is your support structure like? Well, my team at TD Williamson, what we do is a lot of our projects coincide. So what I like about that is we're always communicating with one another. Hey, what can we do to make a better design for this? What can we do to increase efficiency for this process? It can be welding, it can be a machine. So those types of things that's kind of what you would see as my support structure in my company. And what I really enjoy is that, as I mentioned earlier, a team player, just being able to be willing to help out however you can. And also, all my coworkers are team players as well. So that's made our jobs a lot easier. What is your favorite thing about having a job in STEM? Well, that's the kind of repeating what I said, is getting to make people's life a little bit easier. Because by us being able to make those design changes, to make those process improvements, we're not just doing it for ourselves, but we're also doing this to make the welder's life easier, the machinist's life easier, and we're also creating productivity for the company. In other words, making money for the company, but at the same time, by making the company money, we're getting provided with a paycheck. We're getting provided with, the opportunities that, especially for myself, being an engineer. What do you struggle with academically? Well, one of the things that I struggled a lot in college was my test-taking abilities. I wasn't the best test taker, but that didn't hold me down, because I knew my mission was I wanted to become an industrial engineer. So by those test taking, I would go to TAs or teaching assistants. I would go to my professors, ask for help. And so that's what I encourage the most. Always be willing to ask for help, because teachers, assistants are always looking forward to being able to help those students out. So that's one of the things that I know that I struggled in college, but you might not have the same struggles as I do. But if you do, just be positive, because I know that for myself, I was always being positive, even when I felt like, everything was not going according to plan. But just having that positivity, just, clearing my mind sometimes and being able to, go for a run or something. So that's what I encourage for yourself. Thank you.